This is a 2-minute video on keeping precepts. Often, precepts can become an obstacle when we attach to purity and we get the idea in mind that avoiding sex and avoiding taking intoxicants is a sign of purity, when we can easily see that that's not the case always. It's often not the case, because there's a lot more to practice than negation. So if we keep precepts in a more illumined way, which is that if I keep the precepts, then I have my eye on a greater form of satisfaction. And why should I settle for less? Then that kind of attitude of keeping precepts and knowing that there's nothing inherently right and saintly about keeping precepts, but rather that not keeping them might obscure a greater awareness, a greater awakening of the mind, and not wishing to do that, not wishing to settle for something inferior, and to keep one's mind and intention on something superior just makes a lot more sense. So it's nothing about purity at all, which is often taught that we're somehow really pure if we keep the precepts. Not the case. A lot of evil people keep precepts. But if we keep the precepts with an eye towards the target of awareness of the mind and not wishing to settle for something inferior to that, then of course, with that, our mind set on that, then with that goal in mind, keeping precepts is sort of a byproduct of our practice rather than the main event. We do not want keeping precepts to be the main event of our practice, and that often is what it turns out to be. But if we really work hard in our practice, keeping precepts is just a incidental to really having our mind on the target, which is awakening, illumination of the mind, bliss and meditation and insight. And that is really where it's at if we want to understand our full potential.